Humans have lived hard and grueling lives throughout history. Throughout history, there has never been as much technology, security, and convenience as there is today. Today we communicate with the whole world with the phone in our hands. If we get sick, we are treated with pills or ampules. If we want to travel to distance point, we will arrive by plane in a matter of hours. And the law protects us in all circumstances. Perhaps because of the possibilities we have at our fingertips, we are constantly reminded that life has never been so easy for humans. Food, home, and security are the three most important issues we all got used to and forgot that 99% of the history of human life has passed without these three blessings. This story begins 6 million years ago. Stay with Dark Facts. At that time, the Bosnians, which are the same as the apes, split into two brands, and the separation led to the birth of the first Homo 3,200,000 years later. Homo was the first leap towards becoming human. Let's move forward some. Many people think humans were like modern humans a few million years ago, but they're not. After the birth of the first Homo, which took place between 2,800,000 years ago until 2,000 years ago, Homo evolved gradually until they arrived at the intelligent Homo sapien. Our ancestor was born at this moment in history, and we are all descendants of this Homo sapien. Scientists believe that when Homo sapien was born, 6 other types of humans lived on Earth. The most famous of them was Homo erectus, or the same upright human. Homo erectus began 2 million years ago and was the first human to have a smooth spinal cord, but our ancestor, Homo sapien, set foot on Earth 200,000 years ago. In any case, all humans that lived on Earth went extinct, except for our ancestor, and scientists have so far been unable to figure out the reason for the extinction of other humans. Some say that Homo sapien intellect made us stronger than them and wiped them out. The other 6 types of humans were Homo neanderthalensis, whose genes are present in us and which obviously interbred with humans. Some scientists believe other humans went extinct because of the poor intellect and intelligence they had, because they couldn't make the right decision for their hunting and living. Now go back to 2,800,000 years ago, when the first modern humans were born. At the same time, they began to make tools, and with stone and wood, they made tools that made their lives easier. This way of life persisted for humans for 2 million years, and they didn't progress any further. Humans learned about 800,000 years ago how to control fire. Before that, man knew the fire but ran away from it. Fire made man's nutrition all at once better, and this better nutrition made his brain work better. Fire revolutionized human life. It gave him light, protected him from the cold, and provided him with better food. Fire had other benefits for humans, and it could drive away its enemies because all animals are afraid of fire. Humans lived in this way for 300,000 years in groups, and often fighting over food. Humans at this point decided to communicate with each other, but not in this modern way. They understood each other by painting on the walls. Scientists say that if we bring a child from that area to the present, we can't teach him language, because his brain doesn't have the pull to learn a language. Homo sapien brains were getting better every day until 50,000 years ago. There was a revolution in invention and they dressed and framed themselves. They built more advanced tools for hunting and defending themselves and upgrading their tools day by day. Little by little, man grew to connect with others, and now he has reached this stage of talking. In these years, they have put their minds to work more and made traps to make their prey easier to obtain. When they were able to communicate, The older ones taught the young how to live and survive, and those same training made more human progress. Because until now, teaching each other to live has been genetic like animals. For example, the kitten genetically knows how to live. For this reason, animals do not learn anything new and do what is in their genus. As soon as learning became common among humans, and because they could talk and teach their children new things, the pace of progress increased. At that time, there were no jobs and the only human endeavor was to try to survive. Their only job was a round-the-clock attempt to survive. The slightest neglect brings death. So that effort to survive was that they knew all the plants around them. They knew what plant to eat and die. They knew how to defend themselves against predatory animals. They had badly bruised bodies in graveyards and being fed didn't make sense. The human brain was growing more day by day. This life continued until 12,000 years ago. In that time, there was another revolution and humans figured out how to plant and harvest. That was so important and it would have made it easier for humans to find another way to feed their stomachs and not just hunt. Various tools for agriculture were invented. When agriculture began, humans were forced to settle in and settle alongside their crops, and this led to urbanization. Agriculture and urbanization, to some extent, increased the comfort of humans, because they no longer had to go hunting every day, and from now on, they fed their stomachs with crops. Humans becoming smarter made them feel threatened by each other and build walls between themselves. The more disciplined their work became, the greater their progress. Cities grew larger, villages became cities, and they made laws for their own convenience, and thus early empires arose and laws were enacted, the most important of which is the Cyrus the Great's Declaration of Human Rights. Progress continued at a rapid pace until about 500 years ago, the scientific revolution occurred. Many scientists emerged and accelerated the progress of mankind. There was an industrial revolution about 300 years ago. At this time, the cradle of world civilization, the East, fell asleep, and in the West the Industrial Revolution took place. After the Industrial Revolution, man came to a place where life became easier and more comfortable, and he didn't have to fight to feed his stomach. He could go to work and get paid and buy his necessities. From now on, the pace of progress will be added day by day, and the speed is increasing exponentially. Scientists say modern humans have undergone 125 different changes from day one to the present. Different generations have passed quickly at different stages of human life, but from the time of the scientific revolution to the present, only 20 generations have passed and you can see the speed of progress. Since 30 years ago, the internet has taken over the world, and the pace of progress has multiplied many times in these 30 years. It was the story of human life from day one to the present. Now, what do you think race and ethnicity and tribe and skin color matter when we are all born of a common father?